Okay, alright, silence, gentlemen. Right, let us begin. That's right, for those who are new to the show, this is how it works. Every week, we are given stories of plea and help. And we, as society and chat, must digress and answer the big question. Are they the asshole? Anyway, we've got some good ones this week. And this one reads as the following. Am I the asshole for not telling my adoptive son I'm really his half-sister? My parents were both born in 1974, and I was born in 1992. As you can guess, they were 17, 18 when I was born. My mum refused an abortion. She was adamant she would have nothing to do with me, so she bailed literally the day I was born. As soon as she knew I was okay, she managed to get herself discharged and vanished, and I guess relinquishing her parental rights. My dad was shocked as he was only 17 at the time, but he loved from the start, and he managed to give me an awesome childhood. I didn't have anything to do with Louise, to be honest. She would come and go every few years, getting my hopes up to see her, and bailing when shit got real. I also later learnt she was addicted to drugs and begged my dad for money, so my image of her was not a good one. She got clean when I was about 22, and I decided to give her a chance. Things were great for a while, but I realised she was treating me more as a friend than a daughter, and I got really bad with my mental health, and she bailed again. I decided that my last straw and cut her off. All was fine until she turned up in 2015, heavily pregnant. I was shocked because she was being rude. She was approaching 41, and she didn't seem to have her life together, and that I didn't think it was a motherly at all. She confirmed the pregnancy was a mistake, and considering giving him up. I was already married, and despite only being 23, I offered to adopt the baby, as he was family anyway. Louise was fine with this. She gave birth, and Dave and I finally adopted him as our son. Louise bailed once again, and we never saw her. Louise has recently come into the picture, and she seems to be a changed woman. She talked to me through my dad, and he confirmed she fell back on drugs, but has gone to rehab, is in a stable job now, and a good relationship. I said that was great to hear, but why does this involve me? I learned that she wants Frankie to be in her life, and me, as she misses her kids. I wasn't impressed, but I agreed to meet her myself, to see what she had to say. She seemed genuinely remorseful and acknowledged her mistakes. She then asked me how I was doing with an older sister, and I corrected her by saying, I'm a mum. She got really angry and said I have no right to make Frankie think I was his mum and Dave is his dad. I reminded her that she relinquished her rights to both me and him, and she has no right to tell me how to parent. I also said he knows me and my husband as his parents, and my dad as his grandpa, and that if I mentioned her briefly, he thinks she is his grandma. She called me an asshole and called me one repeatedly. Dave and Dad think Louise is crazy, but I wonder if maybe I should tell Frankie the truth. I don't know. He's my son to me. Am I the asshole?
Nope.
Nope.
You're a mom.
Not at all.
Not even one bit.
It frustrates me because the whole blood is thicker than water argument, that trope has been trotted out so much. That's bullshit. A parent is whoever shows up, and it's a mom, it's a dad, it's two moms, it's two dads, it's a grandparent, it's whoever the fuck shows up, whoever reads the bedtime story, whoever tucks them in at night, whoever makes them brush their teeth, and is there when the person breaks up with them when they're a teenager, the person who fucking shows up. And let's hope to God that the mom never shows up again.
Back you up there, I always say too, that anybody can be a mother, anybody can be a father, but not everybody can be a mom, and not everybody can be a dad.
I'm just echoing what everybody else is saying here, so I'm gonna.
What? Do you have an other side opinion?
No, that was everything that I wanted to say has been said.
Do you not feel that it might fuck a kid up though?
No. Not at all. How? In what world? In what world is not knowing
But that
that their mom abandoned them?
your childhood is
Um,
based on a lie. I mean, that's gonna fuck you up at some
no,
time.
but how is it a lie? How is it a lie? It's still a
Well,
childhood.
I'm not your mother. I'm your sister. I mean, that's not truth. That's you have no idea how the child is going to perceive it.
So don't tell him.
All
It's
right,
just something to say.
yeah, go ahead.
It's not well, like speaking from experience, my biological father walked out on my mother when I was very young, and my father stepped into the picture, and I call him my father because he's the only man I've ever known as my father. Stepped into the picture and adopted me at the age of 4,
That's awesome.
and he has been my dad, my best friend, even today. And when I came of the age where I understood that he wasn't my biological father because he's Dutch Indonesian. Him and my brother look very different from me. you know, they gave me the option. My mother, was like, "This is a picture of your real father. Do you want to know his name? Do you want to know who he is?" And I stepped up and I said, "The only man that's my father is that man sitting right there. Like, I don't need to know him. Like, if he ever does decide to come back around, that's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the man who raised me, and this is the man who's encompassed, all of my morals and who I am. I don't need to know the other person."
I think Zydrate brings up the only point that is ever valid when talking about this, which is if there are inherited genetic problems from a biological parent. It's about the only time where the biology matters. Um, and it does come up, especially if you watch the show House. We binged it because of COVID. I'm just saying, if you've never watched the whole series before, go watch it. But that's about it. Any other time, I think Vicious is right, and hats off to you for that's. I can't even imagine making the decision that you made, but obviously you made clearly the right one for you, and I feel like the right one for anybody in your position. So that's great.
I just think it's the spin. Like, I understand it's like, well, actually, he's not your real father, but it's like it's surprised. Like, he's not your real mum. It's your sister. It feels. I think that piece just feels kind of weird and incestuous in some ways. It's just.
Depends on how you spin it, Dom. You can say it that way, or you can say, well, I've loved and cared for you for all these years. Mom fucking wasn't there.
Yeah,
So-
there are lies we tell kids because they don't have the understanding and the depth to get it. It's there are lies we tell to smooth things over. Your kid bumps their knee, scrapes it, you kiss it. Oh, it's all better now. No, it's not. Basically, fucking placebo. It's not magic mommy kisses. But we tell that we lie to them because they don't know, and it helps them. Sorry, I'm sorry,
Again,
Tippy.
Shit, I
Again,
gotta.
it's a very reverse case of what we're seeing. I've seen it personally. Young girl gets pregnant at a very young age, has a baby, has no idea what she's doing as a mother, and her biological parents actually end up raising it. And you see them treat her parents as mother and father when in fact they are grandmother and grandfather. And you're just seeing the reverse case of it here, where the child was the more responsible person to raise the child that said mother had, and I don't see a real stigma here. They're definitely not an asshole for stepping up and being a parent. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they're sisters, or brother and sister, siblings, doesn't really matter. In my opinion.
The thing that I've heard a lot, because I have several friends who are adoptees. I have several friends who have adopted. And when they come of adult age, the grand majority are in the same, as far as I'm aware, are in the same position as Vicious. Like, the people who loved and cared for me, that's mom and dad. Period.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there is some questions in regards to the medical pieces that I know some of them have sought out just for those purposes and those purposes only.
I don't think telling the kid when they're 13, 14 years old, going through the really formative changes that make you is the right time to bring that up. I mean, Geek and I talked about this before on Let's Get Critical, where like, frontal lobe development, the forebrain development doesn't really stop in people till like your mid 20s, and this is the part that helps you make critical decisions, really think about things, and really get to the bottom of most problems. So I think it's a problem very likely reserved for a later conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for your input on that one. As always, chat, get involved. So, can I get a raise of hands for asshole, please? And can I get a show of hands for not the asshole? Vicious has no hands. Oh, there you go. Excellent. All right, brilliant. Thank you very much. All right, our next story.
At the internet land.
Not the asshole. Yes, the public domain was not the asshole. You're right. Next story. Am I the asshole for telling my friends that mummy's kisses aren't magical?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Grow
You
the
are
fuck up.
A terrible human
Cat,
being.
grow up.
Wow.
And the vote's in. Giant asshole. No, okay, so
We knew that already, though.
that's why we love you.